Authorities in southern India are rushing to manage an outbreak of the deadly Nipah virus. 2 people have died. Hundreds are being tested as potential contacts. Salima Shivji is in Mumbai with the details.
Officials are on alert and taking precautions in the southern Indian state of Kerala because of this Nipah virus outbreak, particularly in the Kozhikode district. Some schools are closed, banks as well as government offices. Shops are shuttered and the streets are a bit empty. People are a little nervous, and not just because of the loss to business, says this shopkeeper. After COVID, now we have this new virus and everything is shut again, he says.
I can't help but think that you guys have the exact same thing I'm thinking in my mind, and that is the fact that, shit, they're doing this yet again. In fact, I predicted that this is exactly what governments of the world will do, since it was so successful the first go round when they decided to lock down literally the entire planet. Well, now here we have yet another virus, the Nipah virus, and they have shut down nearly 1,100 people and put them under quarantine. I've got so much more to share with you regarding this story. So let's dive into this lockdown 2.0 and what exactly is going on with this Nipah virus. Take a look here, and I'm going to start with the HinduTimes.com. COVID era-like containment zones are back in Kerala as Nipah resurfaces. Here's another one, and this kind of gives you an idea of how intense things are right now in India. And this is on the Jerusalem Post. Over 1,100 people are in quarantine after 6 cases of the Nipah virus have been reported in India. The article goes on to state this, and I quote, over 1,100 people in the southern India state of Kerala were in quarantine as of Monday after coming into contact with patients infected with the Nipah virus, according to India media. In the past, 6 cases of the virus have been recorded, with 2 of the patients succumbing to the illness. Samples from bats in the region have been collected as well as to test for the virus. Now, it goes on, the people who came into contact with the infected patients were instructed to isolate themselves for at least 21 days. So far, 61 of those in isolation have tested negative for the virus. A number of individuals have shown symptoms of the virus, but the results of their test have not been received as of yet. Now, here's the next question. How deadly is the Nipah virus, and what are, I guess, some of the symptoms? What are the details surrounding this thing? Well, for that, I actually went to the World Health Organization website here to pull up some of that information. And here are key facts from the World Health Organization on the Nipah virus. And here's the overview of it, right? The Nipah virus is a zoonotic virus transmitted from animals to humans and can also be transmitted through contaminated food or directly between people. In infected people, it causes a range of illnesses from asymptomatic infection to acute respiratory illnesses and fatal encephalitis. The virus can also cause severe disease in animals such as pigs, resulting in significant economic losses for farmers. Although Nipah virus has caused only a few known outbreaks in Asia, it infects a wide range of animals and causes severe disease and death in people, making it a public health concern. Now, there's also been a couple of past outbreaks. I'm not really going to hone in on that, but I do want to hone in a little bit on signs and symptoms. And here's kind of some of the symptoms. You can pause and read through that. But what I want to really talk about is the incubation period, because you can have this thing from anywhere between 4 to 14 days and not even know that you have it. In fact, an incubation period as long as 45 days has even been reported. So that's kind of terrifying when you think about all of that together. But in a nutshell, the case fatality of this thing is estimated to be between 40% to 75%. In other words, people who catch this thing have that percent chance of dying. So a very high rate there. And finally, as far as treatment is concerned, there are no drugs or vaccines specific for the Nipah virus infection, although WHO has put this as a priority. In other words, they want to hurry up and get either a vaccine for that or some kind of drug that can be utilized to fix it. So this thing is absolutely deadly. We're talking 40 to 75% death rate. much higher, a lot higher than COVID. Now, they're worried about it, of course, because viruses can change and mutate over time. That's why they're taking the precautions, quarantining certain areas. But either way, is this something for us to freak out about and be concerned about at this time? No, we just have to wait and see. And that's where I'm at right now. I mean, I never panic until things come out, but either way, they're reinstating these lockdowns. And quite frankly, I don't trust the government. I don't trust the United States government, and I don't trust anything coming out of any other government at this time. That's why I say don't panic. There's no reason to do that. What there is a reason to do is keep an eye on it, watch, because there has been outbreaks from the Nipah virus before. This has happened again, and governments around the world like to use fear to incite panic to get you to pass certain rules and legislation that they want. I'm not going to feed into it unless there is actual reason. At this time, in my opinion, of course, there is not. But with that, they're also taking strange precautions in the UK, and this is kind of chilling, by the way, and this is on CBN or CBNews.com. Biohazard tents have been erected in Dover as alert issued after arrival of migrants from France. And you can see these are happening right now in the United Kingdom, coming from their migrant crisis or their migrant influx. A number of blue biohazard tents were also erected near the main gangway where border force vessels disembark. These migrants they pick up in the channel. GB News Kent producer reported that around a dozen personnel wore white coveralls and face masks as they unloaded dozens of people from the Border Force Catamarans Ranger and Volunteer Center there. So you can see some of the images here of these biohazard tents that they have been erecting and some of the things that they are doing. So they're taking precautions with some of the migrants coming into the country, as they rightly should, in my opinion, and we needed to be doing that all around. Now, here's what makes this story even more interesting, because it links back, ding, 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 to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, at least according to this report on the Epoch Times. Take a look here. And this is on the Epoch Times. Wuhan lab was genetically manipulating deadly Nipah virus. Expert testifies at Senate hearing. So we had that happen back in August of 2022. So I'm doing this as a reminder in light of everything that's going on. But back in 2022, we had this Senate hearing where, an expert testified before Senate and said, hey, Wuhan is also genetically manipulating the deadly Nipah virus. But hey, year later, about a year and 1 month later, here we are in yet another potential outbreak, this time of Nipah. Maybe they should get a handle on the crap that is going there in the Wuhan Institute of Virology and all these other biolabs for the sake of humanity. Right? I mean, it's just disturbing. If they were warned then, my question is, did they take any precautions? They validify this expert testimony. And that's the thing. Of course, it's government, and they just want you to shut up and trust them, because that's the way they work. This is why, by the way, I created restrictedrepublic.com. Again, if you are not there, you are not getting the information. I repeat, you're not getting everything that you need to get. Get to Restricted Republic. They are banning and kicking people off of YouTube. Russell Brand just got his channel entirely unmonetized for a crime yet that he hasn't been convicted of. He hasn't even gone to trial for this yet, but I digress either way. Please get to Restricted Republic. Use the coupon code LISA and the number 5 to get it for $5 per month. And by the way, that comes with a 14-day free trial. You can cancel whenever you want. I put out some huge information, and the ones that you see on the screen right now, you're going to want to check them out. Anyhow, I love you all. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.